What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Heroes on the Horizon. We are here in the lovely Goosefield campus at IU Southeast, and I am joined by Charlie.
You doing good?
No.
Yes, I am right here. You're joined by Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie is here.
I'm here.
Hi, Charlie.
Thank you for letting me speak.
You're welcome. Now, be quiet again.
Yes, sir.
Before we get started today, we would love it if you would go and follow us on our social medias. We have a YouTube, which I still don't know the name of exactly. Is it just Heroes on the Horizon?
Yeah.
Where we upload all of our episodes, hopefully.
And kind of slow going with that.
Yeah.
Kind of got busy with homework. I'm like, oh no, going to back burner that for a bit.
Yeah, our social medias we've been struggling to keep up with it, but that's okay because I think that once
sorry, all of our 11 followers.
Yeah, once we're through the finals kind of time, we'll be able to.
Yeah, when school is out and the show's not going, we'll be up to date on everything.
Well, yeah, but we'll be ready for the next time.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
We'll be ready.
Yeah.
But we have an Instagram and a Twitter. Do you want to say the Instagram, Charlie?
It's Instagram. It's heroes_on_the_horizon. Be sure to follow us. I post pictures whenever I remember it exists.
Yes. Sometimes weeks we have better than other weeks when it comes to
We're really sorry, guys.
I'm not sorry at all.
Sorry, not sorry.
Also, and our Twitter is @on_heroes. So.
Yeah, you can follow us on the social medias and be like, hey, guys. Talk about this topic. I'm like, no.
And maybe a few hours later we'll be like, hey, back, you know.
Actually, that's not true. I added notifications to my Twitter, so whenever I get hit, I'm like, hey.
Proud of you.
Someone wants to say something to us.
Meanwhile, I deleted my social media, so I can only log on if I'm on a computer or if I go on to Safari and do it that way.
Boo on Levi, guys.
I'm just trying to take control of my life.
Stop trying to be your own person.
Okay, fine.
Become a slave to the machine.
I'll assimilate again. Anyway, today is a very special episode.
It's a very fun
because
episode.
We are going to be proposing, pitching.
Fan fiction.
I mean, kind of. Our own comic book team ideas. We laid some ground. We laid some ground rules last week. We said that we needed to have a team of, I think, what was the minimum
4
number?
to 7.
4 to 7 people, heroes. We can make up our own heroes, or we can use heroes from other comic books. And there needs to be kind of a plot, or at least an idea of a plot, a setting, and a villain, and kind of a, general backstory and stuff if you make up your own heroes.
Yeah. A little backstory before we get into it. So, team books and comic book pitching is a major part of the comic book landscape, of course. Like, the very first team book was a very big deal, especially to little kids back in the 30s, because it was Justice Society, and like, oh my gosh, all my favorite characters are on one team.
Superhero teams are either awesome or horrible.
And Wonder Woman's their secretary. Oh my gosh.
Wait, really?
We'll talk about that later.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so and the big part of comics and comic studies is pitching the idea for a book to creators to get it published. Which for many creators, you can go on the internet right now and pitch an idea for a book. Like Dark Horse Comics and Image Comics, they'll take basically any pitch you got. You can just send them like a link on the internet. It's wild. And granted, you gotta be prepared to actually follow through on it. But hey.
Yeah. You have to have, the skills.
Yeah. But, other major competitors, they don't really take comic book pitches unless you're, a well-known, at least have a little traction behind you, things like that.
Yeah. You gotta be, in the game.
Yeah, I can't be like Levi from, iOS walking up here's my book. I want to kill Captain America in it. And being like, how about you don't? And how about you just walk out of our office right now?
Let's not do that idea.
How about you leave? Next Avengers comic book is a character named Levi who gets killed. Just call him out.
It's a horrible, horrible death too.
Right.
It's like a building falls on him or something.
Right.
And then Captain America walks in. He's like, no one cared about him.
Bitter. He's an American. And Captain America said it, so you know it's true.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But yeah.
So we've spent some time this past week coming up with our ideas. And I'm very excited to pitch mine to you. And I can't wait to rip yours to shreds. But I think I'm going to have a hard time with that from what you said.
You might not. It's not hard to rip my stuff apart.
Yeah, but like you said, it has a lot to do with Moon Knight, and I really like Moon Knight. How am I supposed
I'm doing something cool with Moon Knight, though.
How am I supposed to rip Moon Knight to shreds? I can't. I love him too much.
You're right. You're right. Well, do you want to just go first then, Levi?
Okay, we can. Mine has. Oh boy, I'm not ready for this.
You want me to go first then?
No, I'm gonna do it. So, my team, my mode of operations for my team, kind of evolved as I thought of the different members of the team.
Yeah.
So it started off as really silly and became a little more balanced as it progressed in my kind of inspiration. And I looked at the entire product and realized how silly part of it was and how less silly another part of it was. And I was like, I'm just going to leave it this way. This is just...
You just ran with it.
I just ran with it. I was like,
There's no going back now.
There's no going back. And I just felt like I felt like it just showed the progression of my thought process, and it was kind of fun. So my team, I made up all of the superheroes myself, and the villain, and the plot. But I wouldn't say that it's incredibly original.
That's okay.
It's called the Super Awesome Team. It has
that could be a better name. We're going to workshop that. Keep going.
Well, let me just say that I feel like my team would lend itself more to like a cartoon. Like a funny kind of like Teen Titans Go.
Saturday morning cartoon, you know?
Saturday morning cartoon. Or like the original Teen Titans cartoon, actually. Because I think the villain's more serious. I see the villain as kind of Slade, like in the not in the comics, but like the cartoon Slade.
Cartoons, yeah.
Like very, very mysterious, kind of dark. But
side note, we're talking very calming to the microphones today, and I just appreciate that.
I suppose.
Carry on, sorry.
I think I'm going a little faster than you, though.
No, it's all good.
Because I'm drinking a Monster as we talk.
And I've had no caffeine all today.
Yeah.
Kill me.
So I think the tone of this would be more of like the original Teen Titans kind of tone. Because like there's a lot of comedy and humor that's between the characters.
Yeah.
But the villain is super serious. But some of the characters I think would probably need to be toned down a little bit because, like I said, the first few ones are completely ridiculous and stupid.
Okay.
But like I don't know, I feel like through explaining their backstory, I don't know, it just
get on with
makes
it.
More sense. So the first team member, I'm just gonna go in the order I thought of them.
You keep rambling, not gonna get your comic, son.
Okay. So the first team member's name is the Buff Handy Gun Hand Buff Man with Guns for Hands.
Oh my gosh.
With an explanation.
Keep going.
Or BHGHBMWGF for short. You can also call him Buff Hands.
Buff Hands.
Yeah.
Buff Hands, Gun Hands.
Most people in the show just refer to him as Eduardo, because his name is Eduardo. His ability is he has guns for hands.
Okay.
And is also so muscled that he is bulletproof.
How does he pick things up? Oh, never mind.
With his feet. You know, people who don't have who don't have hands, they use
guns
feet.
for hands.
Yeah. So like he can like.
Is he like a parody on like the '90s like Punisher like violent character thing?
No.
He just has guns for hands.
His character is actually based a little bit on Eduardo from Foster's Homes from Imaginary Friends. So he's actually a little baby boy. He's scared of everything, but he's not scared of fighting bad guys and ripping them to shreds, but he's scared of spiders and like little things.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And so he's like a little teddy bear, but he's a big buff dude. Like, okay, so my description is buffest guy you will ever see. Muscles bigger than your head. Has guns for hands. Speaks very little English, except for occasional catchphrases. Uses his feet to do everything and can walk on his gun hands without firing them accidentally. Generally, is well-meaning and friendly. A teddy bear, like Eduardo from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Scared of little spiders more than intergalactic villains.
Okay.
So here's his backstory. He comes from a dystopian future world where the entire North American continent is controlled by an evil incarnation of the WWE.
Oh my god.
They use their fake wrestling television programming to mind control the people to submit to their rule. Most people just watch TV all day. Buff Handy used to be named Eduardo Sanz de la Maza, which is named after one of my favorite classical guitar composers.
Okay.
But as a baby, was taken from his parents and drafted into the WWE programming. From a child onward, he trained all day and night and became the most powerful reigning champion 5 seasons running. WWE wanted to take it further, however. They were going to make him the most extreme WWE fighter there ever was. They put him under surgery to remove his hands and replace them with guns. The surgery was a success, but they then realized that he could not use his hands and could not do basic wrestling things.
Oh my gosh.
Because he couldn't use his hands.
Because, wrestling's real.
Yeah. They kicked him out of the program and abandoned him into a world that he had no experience living in because they had taken care of him since he was a baby. Oh. He lived on the streets for years and learned how to use his feet to do nearly everything. He met a time traveler and traveled back in time, vowing to stop the WWE from ever becoming so powerful. This is where he met the Super Awesome Team. He still says WWE trained phrases like "ponage, dude" and "extreme," and actually knows very little English outside of those phrases. Sometimes he'll use simple platitudes that he was taught to say in interviews, like, "I think he got what was coming to him, and I trained hard for this moment." And that's basically yeah.
All right. I like it.
That's my first team member.
Okay.
He's one of my favorites.
How many do you have?
5, but that's the longest backstory.
Cool. Awesome.
I'm sorry.
We're going to be here a while.
No.
Let's just buckle up.
I wrote everything. I'm sorry.
No, I'm messing with you.
So team member number 2. His name is Steve.
Okay, of course.
His ability is he wields a massive diamond sword and diamond pickaxe and wears diamond armor. No, come back, Charlie. He's literally leaving, guys. He can build structures like defensive walls and bridges very quickly from surrounding materials.
That's the 8-bit.
No, he's actually just looks like a normal guy. But after he has left the general area, the structures always fall apart because they defy physics and so on.
Okay. So
Steve is a middle-aged man with a friendly, fatherly disposition.
Okay.
He loves to make dad jokes and horrible puns.
Oh my gosh.
He has average height and build, but is unusually strong and can break down any material with his pick. The dad of the Super Awesome Team, so he kind of looks after everyone.
Yeah.
He's always helping fix things and look out for the other team members, like I said, but he's secretly depressed. There has to be some tragedy in it.
Yes, of course.
So, Steve was a middle-aged man who lost his kids in a vicious custody battle with his ex-wife.
Oh. Having the first half, not gonna lie.
What?
Having the first half, not gonna lie. I thought they died.
No. He just lost them to his ex-wife. Went crazy, and now fights crime. No one knows where he got his sword, pickaxe, and armor from. And when asked, he just goes silent. He insists he does not know what Minecraft is.
Oh my God.
So, that's him.
Okay.
Team member number 3. Her name is whatever.
Oh, okay.
She is teenage angst personified.
Oh.
She is a reverse empath. She's kind of based off of the Teen Titans TV show's Raven.
Okay.
But is nothing like her in powers.
Whatever.
Well, a little bit. She can make you feel all kinds of horrible, scary emotions, or happy ones, if she wants, but she doesn't really do that. She can also make you see things that are not real. And she has a handy tool belt with loads of neat gadgets. For example, she has grenade gum. So she's always chewing gum, but
Because
she spits it out and it explodes. She chews gum and throws it and it explodes, but she also has various smoke bombs and other paraphernalia. She very rarely says anything other than whatever and chews gum all the time. She stays in her room most of the time as well, and she wears all black and heavy goth makeup. Her tool belt has either a giant yellow smiley face or a purple frowny face, depending upon what mood she's sending out. Sorry. Yeah, so it's like the only thing on her like that she wears that indicates at all what she's feeling or what she's doing. It's like her belt buckle or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
She knows how people feel, but generally does not care. But she has been secretly trying to help Steve with his depression.
That's wholesome.
So
wholesome.
Her backstory is from a baby she had these abilities. She ran away from home and joined the super awesome team. She comes back home to do her laundry and uses her parents' money to pay for her gadgets.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. It was wholesome. It didn't happen.
No, okay. She's still just an
it's a character. She's got a character arc. She's got a character arc going on.
Yeah. They all do.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So team member number 4, it's Boy Wonder and his dog Chompy.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Is Chompy the 5th member?
No. They're one member.
That's even better. Oh my gosh. Carry on. I'm listening.
The Boy Wonder has no abilities, but Chompy does.
Oh.
Chompy will only listen to Boy Wonder, and Chomper has super puppy strength, bite, agility, flying ability, and cuteness.
This reminds me of a comic book I read once.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounds like an amazing comic.
It was a really bad comic, actually. Don't pretty like, but I liked it though. It's called It was the Alpha Flight reboot, and there's a character named Major Maple Leaf, and it's like he's got all these superpowers, and he rides his horse, and he can fly that super strength. But turns out he doesn't have any powers. The horse has all the powers. The horse is just there, and he kind of like rides the horse's coattails, and it's hilarious.
That's amazing.
Carry on.
Boy Wonder is a lanky teenage boy with greasy hair. His dog Chompy is the cutest Pembroke Welsh Corgi that you've ever seen. Everything it does is cute, but beware, because he is a super doggy. He has super strength, speed, and agility. He also has a bite that can cut through any armor or
He's
any
like
material.
Crypto, the super dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can also fly, and he has a little red collar with a little bell on it.
Really completes the whole thing right there.
He only listens fully to his owner, Boy Wonder, but loves pets and pats from the entire super awesome team. Boy Wonder can fly by hopping on Chompy's back.
Everyone gets nervous when Gun Hand Man tries to pet the dog. Whoa there, buddy.
No, Eduardo. I just want to pet the dog. When Chompy flies, it looks like when a dog swims, or like when they're held over water and they're just like flopping their arms.
I love it.
That's what the dog...
Oh my gosh.
Boy Wonder secretly has a huge crush on whatever teenage angst girl.
Valid. He uses the dog to get to her, isn't he?
No, she knows this, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's, an empath, but does not show any sign of knowing. She likes him back secretly, but does not like to lose control of her emotions.
Some YA drama right there.
She has considered using her power on him to, like, make him stop liking her, but can't bring herself to do it.
Because the dog would mess her up.
She has secretly visited him in his dreams.
Oh.
But he does not know that is the real whatever. And
are these G-rated dreams right here?
I'm going to leave that up to the imagination, because I don't know. I didn't
thank
decide
God.
that.
I was worried there.
They're teenagers, though. He's not aware that that's the real whatever.
I'm so confused.
Like,
I just woke up with my dog, and it's just like, wow.
So, Boy Wonder actually accidentally gave Chompy a radioactive chew toy. That's how Chompy got it.
I love it.
Accidentally was a civilian stuck in the middle of a big, super awesome team battle, and Chompy saved the day of the battle and was recruited onto the team, and Boy Wonder just kind of came along. Still stays at his parents' place, and can only fight on the weekends unless they can sneak him out of school or out of the house from under his parents' nose.
Oh my gosh, that's even better. I like it. This is a great team. I just want to say that. You're doing
Thank
great.
You. So the last one, team member number 5, dash equals underscore x deep underscore web x underscore equals dash.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to look at what that looks like.
I heard it, and go and tell me what it is.
So,
what does he do?
She can enter into the internet or any computer or any electronic device. She has the ability to manipulate them any way she wants. She can also do things like travel through power lines or through the internet in general and like step out of computers.
So she can give an Xbox a Red Ring of Doom, right?
Yeah, she can do whatever she wants. She's got that power. She can hack the electricity of a building, just travel through the internet, so she can basically instantaneously go across the world to
your
China.
Internet search history?
Yeah, definitely. No, she does that regularly, actually.
Ooh, nice.
Because she's the internet personified. I'll get to that. She acts as kind of the hacker of the group, but is also a very powerful fighter. Because, anything she learns online, she can do when she steps out of the computer. So it's kind of like the Matrix. But she does have a downside, because if she's away from the network for too long, she glitches out and forgets, everything. And the team has to, reboot her, and then she has to learn again, everything. I
feel like her actual weakness is she should be actually made out of dial-up. So anytime someone gets on a phone, she's crashes.
Well, that's also a downside that she has, is that she's also, if she's traveling through different technology, she's limited in the types of technology that she can buy the types of technology. So if she's in the building, the power lines of the building and controlling the cameras and the lights and stuff, unless there's a computer plugged in, she can't leave the building.
That's creative. I like that.
So she can also take any form that she wants, as long as she manifests it inside the computer, so that when she steps out, she'll look that way, or have that ability or whatever.
Cool.
So she can basically take any weapon out. But again, there's a lot of weaknesses. So her weapon of choice is a katana.
You're a weeb.
No, she's a total weeb. She's the internet culture personified, or an oversized sword from an anime.
Perfect.
So she's incredibly intelligent, but incredibly hyper. She talks at 1,000,000 miles a minute, and because she has been on the internet for so long, her mind has become very dirty, but also very intelligent, and she has no concept of boundaries or social cues at all, because she basically talks like someone from the internet, and basically whatever is normal on the internet is what is normal in her brain. So she knows all the things that people look up on the computer.
Oof.
And she'll regularly tease them for it, because she doesn't understand that that's private and ruin people's day or their lives. So she's also incredibly intelligent, as well as being having all of these other problems. But she constantly talks in long mixed strings of memes, elite speak, technical jargon, and anime references.
Dear God.
She is more of an anti-hero because she has no real morals. She doesn't understand real morals, but wants to learn how to be good and learn real social stuff or whatever. So the super awesome team puts up with her and tries to help teach her how to be a better person.
Okay.
She gained her power a similar way that Buddha became enlightened.
Oh my gosh.
She sat in front of her computer for so long that she became one with the network.
I love it. It's perfect.
She lost herself in her code was scattered for 50 years before she came back together, and it took her another 100 years. This is in the future, by the way.
Okay.
It took her another 100 years to learn how to control all of her powers, and then while Boy Wonder was torrenting, she got sucked up into the super awesome team's computer system. That's how she met them. So yeah,
torrenting, some kind of Ricky Astley song.
Yeah. So the villain, this is where it gets more serious.
Okay.
And I'm trying to fit it in 4 minutes so that you have an equal amount of time, because it's been a while. The villain is a mysterious time travel, the same mysterious time traveler that Eduardo met in order to travel back in time.
Oh.
Yeah, it all connects.
It's creative right
Not
there.
much is known about this character. He is the time traveler that Eduardo met and traveled back with. He seems to think he is doing good, but sorry.
You're good.
but he commits like terroristic acts against seemingly random targets in order to affect the future the way he thinks is best. 'Cause he thinks that like the time that the comic is set in is like an important nexus of different timelines, an important point or whatever, and he's trying to affect the future. He tries to use like he'll appear in random different areas of time, and the team will come like after them using time travel tech that they've stolen from him. And he'll have like different identities and like aliases that and he'll completely change his appearance depending upon what timeline he's in at the different points.
Okay.
He tries to use the technology of the time he's in, but he'll like break his character if he needs to. Also, his henchmen are always very stupid in like a comedic
like
way.
Classic, like old Batman TV show.
Yeah, but see, because he thinks he's good, he's very nice to his henchmen, and he'll treat them very well. And
he's got good benefits. He's got dental benefits, things like that.
Yeah, and he'll just in general be just kind of loving towards them, like fatherly, like. But like he doesn't really realize that he's killing innocent people, and I mean he probably does, but so there's a bit more of a moral crisis because the team in the end is going to have to like appeal to him morally and try and like figure it out. And I feel like in the climax of the entire series, there's going to be like something where they have to work together to save the day or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then, they're going to come to some kind of understanding, and then he's going to be like, just kidding, and then run away.
Prank. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Waka waka.
Because he still thinks that he's right,
Yeah.
And the plot's just, they're going to unravel kind of the mystery of who he is and what his goals are and stuff, and he's going to remain pretty mysterious and stuff.
Exciting. I like it.
That is my...
I like it. I give that solid series. I think that could stand as a legitimate series on its own. I like it.
Yeah.
You're a very well thought out character. I didn't fully understand that was in the future at first. I thought like the character came from a further future and it came back to a not so further future. The super buff gunman hand.
Oh yeah, it was it's way in the future, but like it still doesn't seem like it's like a time in the future where things are pretty relatable still.
So in their present future, is WWE like bigger than what it is now, or is that getting to where it was, or is WWE in power?
Like they're trying to reach their fingers of influence into politics, but they haven't really quite gotten there yet.
Yeah.
They're like slowly getting in. Maybe the president is like a former WWE
John
champion.
Cena.
It's John Cena. Oh my gosh, yes. He could be like a side villain. Exactly.
I love it. I love it. Well, cool. I think they're all good character dynamics. Kind of will explain them well. So good job. Yeah. Is one of the arcs going to be Eduardo trying to learn English?
I think so. I think that's going to be like a continuous difficulty for him because he can like communicate. He just has a really hard time.
It's all in like Schwarzenegger catchphrases though.
Yeah, and things like that, and like occasional like broken English that he takes like he's like trying to talk and he's having a hard time.
It's a good diverse character for diversity. I like it.
There's the difficulty is that like there's multiple characters that have a hard time communicating, so it might be.
It's all about like trying to find that aspect. I feel like him and the person would get along pretty well because they're both kind of like maybe a bit socially inept, possibly.
Yeah, and I think that they all kind of are. But Steve is kind of tries to like bring them together and try and make things work for them.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be like lots of clashes between them because they don't.
You're not my dad, Steve.
No, between all of them because they don't quite communicate perfectly, Yeah. And Steve has all these things that he struggles with, but he's trying to just bring everyone together, and not be Minecraft Steve.
Reasonable. Well, cool. I like it. 10 out of 10. My turn.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I couldn't think of a team name for my team, so I just gave the comic book a name, which is very common for books to have a name like you have Journey into Mystery, Astonishing Tales, things like that. So I just gave my book a name, and it's Odyssey into the Unknown. It's very spooky. It's not mine's not as comedic as Levi's.
Yeah, I went with comedic.
We're going to get
that's all I know.
serious. Okay, so my team members includes Moon Knight, who we had a whole episode on. His name is Mark Spector. He's the avatar of the god Khonshu. He's kind of insane. Possibly do Khonshu, possibly because of not. You never know. But he's our big character right there. Team leader, I guess. The character of Echo. Her name's Maya Lopez. She was a Daredevil character for a while, and then she was a character in Moon Knight's Bendis arc before she got killed. She's deaf, and she can copy any. She can copy people's movements, and is a really good fighter because of that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Werewolf by Night. It's like in the 70s and 80s, was a big character. He's just this guy who has the ability to turn into a werewolf, but on a full moon, he loses control. Basically, hulks out and goes around werewolf style. But that's where Moon Knight got his first run. So I think he had a lot of good dynamic between the two. But yeah, he's just like more of the muscle for the team, and but he's also like the glass cannon because like every once in a while, oh no, Jack Russell is going to go crazy and fight people.
They just sick him on people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he can like Wolverine out. The character of Silver Sable, she was in the newest Spider-Man game. Came out PS4. Her whole thing is that she's the leader of this Eastern European nation. But her thing is she funds the nation through her mercenary work, and like she hunts Nazis and stuff and beats people up. She's like Black Widow, but if Black Widow were cool.
Yeah, because Black Widow could use some cool points,
right? Yeah, so she's this really rich person with the mercenary force who hunts Nazis.
So the team is kind of able to gain their resources from her wealth.
Oh yeah, she's finding a team through her and Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's also kind of rich sometimes. Depends on who's writing it.
But he doesn't always like live in a rich situation.
Oh, their base of operations is going to be the Mark Spector mansion for half of it.
Okay.
Then it's going to get destroyed, and then they're going to move to Symkaria, where Silver Sable's country is.
Okay.
Yeah. Next we have the original Human Torch. His name is Jim Hammond. So it's Marvel's very first character. So in 1939, they came up with a character named the Human Torch. He's an android who gains sentience, and the whole thing is he can catch himself on fire. And he can fly and do all that stuff. He's basically the Human Torch.
I remember you sent me some of those original comics.
Yes.
And how hard they were to read because they didn't know how to make comics back then.
Panos, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's more machine than man, but like it's kind of a good like dynamic for him. He's like, am I human? Am I a man? But I can catch on fire. Shabloom! Flames.
There were a lot of characters that came after him that kind of, did the same thing.
Yeah. I agree. But he was definitely the first one.
Can he shoot fire out of?
Yes, he can shoot fire too.
Okay, cool.
And fire flames and flying the fire, and he's actually a really powerful character. And they did an arc recently. Well, not recently. 2006, 12 years ago. Shoot, so long. It was like Avengers versus Invaders. For the original Human Torch was called World War II team called Invaders. We have an episode in about 3 weeks about them, but that's where they fought the Avengers. And Human Torch kind of carried the team for a bit there because he's actually a really powerful character because dehydrate people and fire hurts, fire burns people.
I would like to see more from him.
I would, but they have the other Human Torch people more, but that's just me. Anyway,
why don't they make him a part of the MCU?
Oh, they did technically in a scene from the first Avenger where Bucky and Cap go to that little World's Fair. There's a scene where it says Phineas Horton's Flaming Man, and there's the character right there, just basically standing still. He's not on fire. But it's his costume and everything. He's just standing there.
So it's just like a reference to him.
Yeah, it's just a reference.
That might mean that they're teasing that he might come in.
That'd be cool if they did, but it's been a few years since then.
Yeah.
Well. And then lastly, we have a character called the Scarlet Spider. And his name's Kane. So back in the 90s and stuff, there was a big thing called the Clone Saga in Spider-Man, where Spider-Man had a bunch of clones floating around, and people hated it because it went on forever. They didn't get any clarity. But the best part about it, I think, was his character named Kane. He's a Peter Parker clone, but he's stronger. He's kind of degenerating at times, so he's slowly dying. He has this scar on his face that's kind of a mark of Cain, hence the name Cain, like Cain Abel. And he can shoot little blades, little venom talons off his palms. He doesn't shoot them. They Wolverine snick it out, pops out. And it's kind of for a while he has a degenerating mental health, depending on who's writing it. But he's trying to be a better person, but he's killed a lot of people. Back when he was first around, then he died, then he came back, and he's I can do better. And then he's still kind of degenerating though.
So you have this cast of characters that has more of a darker kind of feeling to it, and a kind of a backstory to it.
Yeah, the least darkest character is the Human Torch because he's from the 30s. He's going to be kind of a foil for them.
Yeah,
he's from the Golden Age heroes. This is not how heroes work, guys. Come on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see that balances it out, but even he still has a pretty tragic-ish backstory.
Absolutely.
And in general, kind of been kicked under the rug, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because people don't care about him anymore. But
yeah.
I think he's still a cool character. He's got arc going right now with the New Invaders run, where it's like Namor is being a bad guy, and so him, Captain America, and Bucky are like, team be like, hey, he's our friend. Oh, Captain America like, let's take out Namor because he's being bad, and the Torch is like, hey, he's our friend. Let's not do this. So it's gonna be an interesting dynamic. I hope he doesn't die. I hope he doesn't die. But yeah,
Captain America would do something like that. He would just kind of like take a moral stance and then not.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to go into my villains yet because I have a big team building thing that's going on, but I'm just going right into the plot of my first book.
I'm ready.
So the plot opens. It's on like Egyptian like hieroglyph painting style like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Does it relate to?
Yeah, it relates to the villain.
Yeah.
So the big villain is the Egyptian god of evil, Set, who's an enemy of Khonshu.
Oh, I was going to say, does this have to do with like Khonshu and?
Yeah, 1 second. So Set is seeking to destroy Khonshu and take over the world, because that's just, how it be in the comics. And so, but like, he wants to lay waste to the world of man, but in Khonshu, but knows he kind of lacks the power to do it, because, it's just, people don't believe in the Egyptian gods anymore. Like, Thor's out there doing things, but like, hey, it's Thor. Norse gods, I guess, exist, or like, so they have a little bit of power, but like, Egyptians, there's not really a lot of Egyptian heroes running out there. But so Seth wants to gain power like that. But Khonshu's like, kind of in the way all the time.
Yeah.
So but he needs the strength to do such an act. So what he does is he goes to the goddess of death, Anubis, kind of like protects the underworld, things like that. And he's like, hey, let's make like a deal like they did mythology and stuff, like Christian Greek mythology. Like they place bets on like place humanity in battles and things like that. It's like, hey, if I get you the soul of Khonshu and you give me all his powers, I'll give you like reign over like some, I don't know, I didn't really flesh that out, but like.
They make a deal.
Power. They make a deal. You don't know what the deal is, but they make a deal for some reason.
You'll reveal that later in the comic.
Absolutely.
Because, it'll have consequences.
Yeah,
later.
so she gives him a team of heroes or villains that have died in the past and brought back from the afterlife. And it's a big thing that's happened before in like the other comics called the Legion of the Undead, of the... what are they called? I have it. The Legion of the Unliving. So there's a bunch of dead heroes who have died in the past. So his big person is a guy named Vulcan, who's like Cyclops' brother, but he died and is like extremely powerful. He like control energy and absorb energy and things like that. He's gonna be this kind of like tank that he latches onto. We got like characters like Deacon Frost from the Blade movie, Midnight, a Moon Knight villain, Killmonger who died, Citizen 5, the original Silver Sable who died, Echo's dad, Black Spectre, a bunch of other various dead heroes and villains who are just still dead for some reason. And
because that's rare.
yeah, and also a few World War II heroes, just like for reasons.
Yeah,
we'll get there. So yeah, so they raise the heroes and they seek out to go, hunt down Moon Knight, and then we cut to so he doesn't get all the heroes. They kind of like rise from the grave in various spots where our heroes see them. So like in Samkaria, our Silver Sable sees her father rising from the dead and is like, well, what the heck?
Yeah,
that's weird and kind of emotionally scarring. And he disappears somewhere, and Echo sees her father raised from the grave, and she's like, what the heck? That's kind of weird. And then the Human Torch sees his friends from, like, the 40s rising from the grave, and he's like, what the heck? That's kind of weird. And then Scarlet Fire just sees weird stuff and is like, what the heck? I'm going to follow this.
If I was the Human Torch, I'd be like, get back down in there.
Kill the fire!
Down in there.
But they're his friends, so he's not going to do that, though. So we have all these heroes seeing this happen.
Oh, so he has like this moral crisis where he has to fight people that
they're his friends.
Are his friends. Holy crap!
And there's a chance they can be back to life. I'm not going to kill them, but like all these other people are like moral, iffy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then we cut to Moon Knight just like swinging across the rooftops and stuff, like boom, flying around, Moon Knight stuff.
Yeah.
Fighting villains.
He's awesome.
I wear white so they can see me coming. And Khonshu's, he's like some like internal dialogue with like him and Khonshu and stuff, things like that, which like could just be him being crazy, could be Khonshu. Have
you seen the Facebook posts where it's like, I think it's just like just girly things or whatever.
Yeah.
Just Moon Knight
just
things.
Moon Knight things. Hey girl. Oh man! And then at that point, a bunch of heroes pop up. We don't have like Vulcan right there, but because he's like the big gun, he's saving it for like when they need it. But like Midnight pops up, a bunch of other heroes, so they tackle Moon Knight to the ground. He's fighting them off at first, but like there's just so many people who are like dead. He's like, this is weird. They're not dying.
Yeah,
I can't stab them enough. So he's trying to get
worn white.
overpowered, and the whole fight's happening. We have like kind of like a transparent Egyptian hieroglyph background, like Set and Khonshu fighting like Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff between each panel.
Oh, that's so cool.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a creative person, so like they're fighting and stuff. And then he's about to get overpowered by his former foe named Midnight, who's about to kill him. And then Werewolf by Night pops up and is just like,
roar.
Kia! Kia! Kicks and punches and roars. And then Echo pops up too. They're all fighting. And then, like, for some reason, all the heroes just stop fighting for some reason. And for a while, we haven't seen the fighting panel in the background on, like, the horizon.
Yeah.
And they all just, like, disappear. And they're like, whoa, that was weird. How's it going? And Mark Spencer's, like, walking around, like, freaking out. Like, you ever been, like, stressed out and you're kind of, like, pacing, like, don't really know what to do?
Yeah.
Well, Mark Spencer's doing that. Finally, he claps down. And the issue ends with the panel of Moon Knight screaming, Khonshu is gone.
Holy crap.
And that's the first comic right there. It's over.
Okay. Oh. But what about Mark though? What about Mr. Spectre?
We're getting there. Okay. So
you can't just do that to him.
Exactly. So the rest of the series, we have these heroes tracking these undead heroes to various spots, and they pick up their various members. So like they pick up Human Torch, to pick up Silver Sable, one by one, pick up the Scarlet Spider. And we probably deal with the confused Moon Knight and get an idea of what is a Mark without Khonshu. And will the separation free him more sense or drive him further crazy? Furthermore, we dive back into the potential romantic plot between him and Echo that's kind of like cut short because, she died. And maybe a bit of guilt that Moon Knight has over that death because, hey, she's back and she's dead because it's my fault. And kind of like, that character dynamic between the two. And things like that. And, Echo's dealing with that too and dealing with her, undead father. Who she's like, oh, he was evil, but he's my dad. I don't know.
All of this emotional baggage from all these characters just welling back up.
Absolutely. And then Silver Sable was a big Spider-Man character in the past. Who's that's where she started Spider-Man. And so she's dealing with this whole Kane character who's not the Spider-Man she knows. And it's kind of confusing. It's just they're there to play off each other. It's really wild. And then Werewolf by Night is merely out there because he feels indebted to Moon Knight for freeing him from the committee. And we explore his humanity and his Moon Knight relationship, and as well as trying to regain his humanity and find a way back to his life. Because he used to have, a girlfriend and a wife and things like that. And he's kind of recently he's just been Werewolf by Night all the time, walking around Deadpool comics and stuff. They haven't really been using the character, I think.
Yeah.
But it's going to be him, dealing with, finding his humanity. And Human Torch is a fish out of water as a man of the golden era of comics, and acts as a moral foil for all these dark and violent characters. He's pushing them to be something better. He has a strong dynamic with Werewolf by Night because they're both
trying
humans.
to be good.
Yeah. And so the theme, since all these characters have died in the past at some point, besides the Werewolf by Night, they've all died.
Yeah. And
so we're going to do this whole dark and very occasional horror aspect of imagery. So whenever a member of the Legion of Living is on panel, it's going to be a very dark, graphic, kind of horror aspect to it, and then And there, all these characters perhaps feel a slight pull from a dark place they chose to forget, which is referencing they died at some point, so they all kind of feel a pull. Most of all, Kane, because he's kind of always in a state of dying, so occasionally he might lose control, hey, snap out of it. It's gonna be interesting, and naturally the tone of this is gonna be the overall theme is gonna be these heroes trying to be something better and trying to find something. Can they be? Dealing with something that they've lost in the past. So, some characters who lost his innocence, characters who lost a friend in the past, humanity, sanity as a role in the Avengers, and most importantly, it's going to mainly deal with a lot of grief and the loss of loved ones, I feel like.
It's going to be really heavy.
Theme. It's going to be a real heavy book, and it's going to get canceled after 3 issues. But it's going to be, Moon Knight's going to be the main focus, this whole Khonshu's gone, how do I deal with this?
Do you think there's going to be any, side plots where with Khonshu kind of, because Khonshu's gone, but I'm assuming that he's coming back.
We'll see. I'm not sure. Probably. Yeah, he's going to come back because that's part of Mark's character now.
Yeah, I feel like he would have to come back, but there might be some things to
He might come back on Mark's terms, maybe.
Yeah, and Mark might be searching for him or something, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's my whole general idea of the plot right there.
Maybe they have to rescue Khonshu from...
That's the whole thing. They're going so their whole thing is Mark's going to take reins yeah, we're going to go stop these undead family members. But he's really going to be I'm going to go get Khonshu because this is freaking me out right here.
Yeah.
But, and so a few characters catch on to this. So Echo has an idea of hey, he's on this interdimensional being or something like that. He's like, hey, are you sure you're good? Like, are you sure you really need him? It's going to be them, like, a lot of dynamic between two, and it's like, nah, screw off. Things like that. That's my general idea.
And they'll have to enter Khonshu's plane of existence.
Yeah, Heliopolis.
Wow.
So like, they're going to, like, go to, Texas for a while to go pick up Scarlet Spider, Symkaria for a few issues, and then they're like, let's go hang out at the mansion for, like, our annual issue, and, like, they're there hanging out at the mansion, and then, boom, Vulcan appears and starts fighting them, and, like, they're losing the battle because, Vulcan's so powerful.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we'll have to go fight him on his plane of existence. So they go to, like, the Egyptian realm of the gods, like Asgard. It's called Heliopolis, so...
You could even, like, escape Vulcan through that, couldn't you?
Possibly, but that's the set controlling Vulcan, though.
Is who what?
That's the set controlling Vulcan, though, so they can get there, too, like...
Oh.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's not the Greek god Vulcan, it's this mutant character who died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, yours is so cool because it actually has, like, a real plot and, like, a real idea behind it.
Yours has a real idea behind it?
No, yours is super strong. Like, honestly, I could see it being a real comic, and I would read it. It would be awesome.
I feel like yours would be good for, like, an independent comic. Image would probably write that.
Yeah, it would be a fun little silly thing.
Yeah.
But yours, like, it not only does it have, like, some really strong ideas, I think that it would answer a lot of questions that people who care about those characters would know.
That's my big thing right there, is I want this character to, like, wrap up some, like, unfinished plot lines that kind of left open. Like,
yeah.
I need answers to these questions, and this book's going to give us those answers.
And you have a lot of characters that are just, like... I just think the theme in general is really cool. This is more of a horror kind of theme. Like, maybe not horror...
Psychological horror, maybe?
Yeah, maybe not horror on, like, the bluntest of terms, but, like, dark.
It's got some creepy imagery in there.
It's gonna be dark.
Like, there's gonna be, like, some, like, light moments where, like, they're all, like, quipping and stuff like that. Like, hey, we're hanging out. We're fighting crime boss. Yeah. Like, we're sad. Like, there's gonna be some, like, a little bit of, like, sprinkle, like, hey, everything's okay in here. But also, like, everything's horrible right now.
Yeah. Okay, so if they're gonna have, like, one base, I'm assuming that they're gonna be, like, existing together in the same
yeah,
place.
they're gonna be together because, like, they're trying to, like, muster their forces and be like, hey, we can go take care of this. Like, they can't be, like, off, like, run around. Like, occasionally they'll be, like, one will, like, run rogue because, like, hey, someone saw this person who died. Be right back. And, like, wait, no, don't do that. And they're gone. And then they get trapped or something like that. It's kind of like formulaic, kind of like, I don't know. But, yeah.
So what would their dynamic be just in their day-to-day, like, existing
brooding
together in the same...
brooding.
Just brooding. All of them just brood.
A lot of arguments. Because I feel like they all have, like, their own way they want to handle it. So it's going to be, like, a lot of arguments, like, then trying to, like, find a guy to, like, get a team dynamic going, like, hey, we get it, you're a really good fighter, but also, like, Silver Sable has the money. It's going to be a lot of, like, Pac wallet measuring between him and Silver Sable, like, hey, I got money. Like, wait, I got money.
And, like I feel like Moon Knight, he seems like he's very used to just existing and living on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I mean, I don't know. In a lot of the comics that I read, he lives in this kind of dilapidated state.
Yeah.
Even though he has a mansion, it's not like he doesn't take care.
Yeah, because he lost his butler and things like that.
Yeah, and so I mean, in the one that first issue of the I can't remember what it's called now. Like, it was basically a ruin, and their Khonshu was like literally like it was just a place where Khonshu could talk to Khonshu alone.
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't be very happy living in his mansion because his mansion is just.
They're gonna spruce it up before it burns down.
Before it burns down, they're gonna put in all that work. Maybe I can just see Moon Knight not liking that. Like, I had everything where I wanted it.
Like, hey, you gotta get a little, drapes in here, so get some flowers going.
Yeah, who would be the one who would do
Echo.
that? Echo would do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I can't see in here. If I can't see and I can't hear, this is gonna work out, Moon Knight.
You gonna give the werewolf like a kennel?
No, that's too mean. He's gonna have a nice place.
A nice kennel.
Yeah, a nice kennel.
Like a room for when he gets out, when he loses control.
Oh, yeah, they're going to, like, deadbolt that thing with a few, like, 10 deadbolts. Like, boom, boom, boom. Some pang, they're like, hey, he gets out there, someone fire, guys.
I can just imagine, like, people trying to, like, say, burglarize the house, or a villain trying to get in, just entering this house of horrors, and just, like, not knowing what'll be around
It's like
the next corner. Yeah.
So.
They accidentally like enter the dead-bolted room where like the werewolf.
There's a werewolf in there,
freaking out.
And he's sitting there like drinking like coffee and saying like, "How's it going, buddy?" Like he's actually really civilized.
Yeah, but there's also padding on the walls and a giant like claw mark across the side.
Yeah.
And a broken table and chairs or something like in the corner.
He's just hanging out.
Neatly put in a pile. And he's just like drinking tea from China or something.
Just like closes the door slowly.
Want some tea?
I love it. And yeah, that's something like if it goes on for like an annual issue, that's gonna be the annual issue right there. Like,
oh my gosh.
I gotta bust into the midst and like, hey, we're gonna get the stuff here.
That'd be so cool.
It's like walking like Silver Sable's just like speaking a different language, like what's going on here? We didn't know what Human Torch is just like I don't know, like sleep mode in the chair, like boots up to life.
And then like
he's a robot.
Flames up
like ah. You said no one lived here besides that rich guy named Steve Grant.
I feel like Human Torch would have to live in like a flame retardant.
He can turn it off. You know that, right?
Yeah, but still, like, I feel like
I'm not saying he's the reason it burns down because he's not. But like,
what if he was though?
He's not.
I feel like he needs something.
Maybe the character like control where fire goes, aka Vulcan might take advantage. The big being of fire right there.
Wait, are they gonna have a training space like in X-Men, where they like train and like practice in a simulation?
Moon Knight does have a little basement, bunch of moon copters and stuff. So why not?
A bunch of little moon copters.
He has a moon copter.
I think that's hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting concept. I'm really proud of my story.
I think it's amazing.
So yeah,
I give it an 11 out of 10.
Thanks.
Better than mine. Because you gave me.
I think yours is great. I love yours. I love yours. But yeah.
All right. I would say yes to your pitch.
I would say yes to your pitch.
All right. We both see. I came in and I was gonna be like ready to like tear you to pieces just for
then
fun.
It was like really strong.
And then it was really freaking good. I just couldn't. Especially with all the Moon Knight and like everything that I like in comics is like right there.
Absolutely, I played to you.
You definitely. Yeah. I feel like you definitely did.
I wouldn't take Moon Knight seriously. I feel like so. Like
Moon Knight deserves to be taken seriously.
Like I didn't want to make him like oh well, Miss Moon Knight's the crazy guy, which is gonna be the crazy guy in the book. Like
well, of course.
Like we got a werewolf there, but Moon Knight's the crazy guy.
I mean, he is the crazy guy. I mean,
we got like a Spider-Man who's kind of like rotting a little bit, but no, Moon Knight's the crazy guy.
Yeah, I mean
for some reason he's in charge.
Because naturally,
he's letting us use his house.
Yeah, partially.
We're crashing on his couch. He's in charge.
I feel like naturally there is an aspect of him that is like leadership-like, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if he wasn't crazy, I think he would be a team leader.
Real talk though, it's gonna be Silver Sable or Echo's gonna be a team leader probably.
Probably.
Or Human Torch.
But I mean, I see them clashing a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like wanting to be in charge because Moon Knight's very independent.
Because he wants to get Khonshu. That's all. He's only there.
Yeah.
They're all there for their own kind of personal, maybe greedy reasons.
Yeah.
Besides maybe Human Torch, and besides maybe Echo.
I think that Human Torch would end up being the leader.
Yeah, because he's got the most experience. He's probably the most powerful.
Yeah.
And he's got the
I don't know.
The
I
moral
feel
ground.
like Moon Knight would beat Human Torch, but not without Khonshu. I think
Yeah.
Moon Knight, in order to
that's the big thing. Is him without Khonshu. That's my whole
Yeah.
arc.
Yeah.
Khonshu's gone.
And also Moon Knight kind of has to play to them a little bit because he is a lot weaker without Khonshu.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he doesn't want to be nice to them, he kind of has to because he's very weak. So
I agree.
He can struggle with that.
But yeah, so that's going to pretty much wrap up our episode for today. But however, thank y'all for listening. Next week's topic is going to be a big, deep, and serious topic. So get ready for that. We're going to talk about Marvel.
We're going to talk about Marvel
and their big
their
problem.
Big problem.
And if there is there a problem?
Is there a problem?
Can you stop?
Can I stop?
Yeah. But yeah, it's a big scandalous topic, I guess, recently, and though it's kind of lost a little traction because we kind of stacked off on it, but still a big topic of diversity in comics. Why is the comic industry failing and things like that?
We've touched on this a little bit
we're gonna,
in the past. But we're
commit to it though for an episode.
We're gonna actually talk about it.
We can get that off the table for a bit.
We might make some people angry talking about it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be a little scary, actually.
If we get taken off the air, it's for either this episode or the Blade episode.
I hope it's the Blade episode.
Me too.
I really need the Blade episode in my life.
If they cancel us, we're like, one more episode.
We need to do the Blade episode.
We need to do more of the Blade episode. We're gonna watch all the movies, but yeah. Well, anyway, thank y'all for listening. We're going to go and sign off a bit early, I guess.
Well, we can always tell them about our social media.
Oh, our social media.
So, our social media. We have a YouTube, we have an Instagram, and we have a Twitter.
Ooh, exciting.
Would you like to tell us the Instagram handle?
Our Instagram handle is heroes_on_the_horizon. And if you really like us, guys, you should follow us on there.
If we post anything ever.
I'm going to get better at posting things.
Once
a day, I'll post something.
I like making Charlie post things
because you can post things.
No, I mean not making Charlie say the Instagram. I'm sorry. I was thinking post things.
If you want,
I like making Charlie say the Instagram name because he's the one who made it so long.
Absolutely, that was my fault. But yeah, if you want, we'll even post our lineups for our teams and things like that. Maybe even click a link to our document files. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe not.
I put it all in my phone notes.
Never mind, we're not going to worry about it then. It's all good.
But I mean,
our Twitter, Levi.
Oh, our Twitter is @on_heroes.
Love it.
Also, how am I going to post like?
I'm not going to worry about it, actually. I changed my mind.
Team.
I changed my mind.
It would be really cool if I could see what these heroes look like because I didn't really think of like a very specific design for all of them.
Just pitch it to the art department. Be like, hey,
can you make?
Any of y'all bored? Any of you weebs over there?
Oh yeah, because like maybe. A
quick question: is your inner person look like Penny Parker from like Spider-Verse? Like
the internet one?
Yeah.
No, she looks like your stereotypical anime babe.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Because she's the internet personified. It has to.
So you said she changes form sometimes.
Yeah, but she always looks like.
Does she? She doesn't like
kind of the similar thing, but she'll use that.
Take the form of a meme idol, like it's not like Ricky Astley walking around.
One day she might walk around as Pepe the Frog, but she's always going to have like a feminine.
Here comes that boy.
She's always going to have a feminine body.
I don't want to be attracted to Pepe the Frog, Levi. You're off now. There we go.
Can you wait? Did you really?
Yes, I did turn you off.
Well, no, it's just...
I didn't need that image in my head.
Her goal is to... She just loves making people uncomfortable. Again, she doesn't understand people's boundaries.
I am uncomfy now.
Yeah, no, she definitely oversteps her bounds constantly. That's part of the fun of her character, is just seeing how much she can push the envelope. There's a lot that is part of her character that I probably shouldn't say on the air because she just harasses people constantly in different ways that are uncomfortable and horrible.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool.